Hi there, this is a piece of audio content that is only available in full over at patreon.com/Elwood City Limits. We wanted to give you a little bit of a preview to show you what you might be missing out on. You can join us for as little as $1 under the Pay What You Want model at patreon.com/Elwood City Limits and get access to over dozens of hours of content, including every episode of For the Kids, a PBS Kids podcast. We appreciate you listening, whether you're a patron or whether you're listening on the free feed. You're under no obligation to join, and thank you very much for checking out this preview. But if you'd like to know what these episodes and extra content sounds like, here's a little bit of a sneak peek. Rocko's Modern Life, Camp Lazlo. So Joe Murray, he began as a cartoonist before he formed his own independent illustration company when he was in college, creating short animated films. That led him to creating and executive producing Rocko for Nickelodeon. It was one of the 90s Nicktoons. It aired from 1993 to 1996. It also got I think it got like a Netflix thing a couple of years ago, like a movie or something. I never followed up with that.
Oh yeah, there was a Rocko's Modern Life revival.
Yeah. I never followed up with that because I did watch Rocko's when I was a kid, but it was never my favorite cartoon. There was a lot of stuff that, looking back, kind of flew over my head.
Yeah, it's a good cartoon for adults. It's not quite like this, but for some reason I get like a Dr. Katz or The Critic. I feel like Rocko's Modern Life is kind of like The Critic, where when I was a kid, The Critic would come on and I'd be like, what is this like weird off-brand style like Simpsons show? Like, what is my young mind couldn't handle The Critic. You know,
you are definitely not getting the references on The Critic.
Yes.
When you're like 6 years old.
Today, when The Critic comes on, it's appointment viewing. I have to
hell
sit my white ass down to learn and listen from The Critic.
Oh, hell yeah. The Critic is awesome. And it's especially, it's this wonderful time capsule of not just like the 90s, but like 90s movies. And I think that's something you and I both get really interested in. So yeah, he did that in the 90s. After Rocko's Modern Life, Joe Murray worked on children's books as well as web cartoons. He created Camp Lazlo for Cartoon Network in 2007. And then that brings us up to this here. So Let's Go Luna was his next cartoon venture. He co-produced it with our friends at 9 Story Media. And this is the first storyboard-driven show ever made for PBS, where artists work with writers to create, and I'm quoting here from an interview with Joe Murray, to create visually driven narratives that highlight each city's distinctive landscape and features. So it's an interesting claim. I mean, I don't know enough to dispute it or not dispute it, but to think that this is the first cartoon airing on PBS that is storyboard driven. I'm not even exactly sure. Like, you would think that even for something like we talk about Arthur all the time, like, surely they would have done storyboards, but maybe not.
Didn't we talk to storyboard artists for Arthur? So this has got me confused. It might be more that me and you don't understand what a storyboard is. Like,
it could be. It could be. I don't want to discount us not knowing things, but it was just an interesting claim that stuck out to me, and I wanted to mention it here. So yeah, Let's Go Luna. This idea for this show came out of the fact that PBS itself was missing a social studies curriculum from its show lineup. So there's a lot of educational requirements that their shows have to meet. And one of the things so it didn't have anything in the way of social studies. And that interested Joe Murray. When he was pitching to PBS, they kind of gave him an idea of like, here's where we are looking to the areas in which we are looking to make shows, and one of them was social studies. So Joe Murray wanted to introduce a level of comfort to kids who are exploring new places. Another thing he wanted to do was to make laugh-out-loud moments of physical comedy for this show he was creating, because he felt that it helps engagement with the viewership. So kids are more likely to pay attention to what's going on if they are laughing out loud, which I think stands to reason for a lot of the shows that we have watched as kids and continue to watch.
And, you know, it's been a long time at this point since your Carmen Sandiego's. I really can't think of shows that are kind of in function, and this is kind of, I don't know much about Let's Go Luna besides the episode we watched, but shows that are in function about all the nations and peoples of the world.
There are some that at least have an aspect of that, like, for example, Postcards from Buster.
Right.
But that was more like, I feel like that was a lot of like America-centric sort of things, and others like, I think, you know, the Krat Brothers shows, they go to all kinds of places over the world, but that's in service of seeing the different animals that are there, not necessarily the cultures are what they're exploring. So with Let's Go Luna, Joe Murray wanted to introduce a level of comfort to kids exploring new places. He wanted to teach kids about geography and culture while also entertaining him. So we're going to find out in a minute if he was successful with that. Okay, that's going to do it for now, but we will see you next time on Elwood City Limits or at patreon.com/ElwoodCityLimits if you decide to join us. Thank you very much, and have a great week.